Happy Friday, everybody. I am so excited to be here. It is, of course, time for the Pretend Talk Show. I'm still working on a really fun music intro, I think, right? To make this feel somehow professional. I haven't got one yet, though. But what I do have today is an incredible guest who happens to be my friend, but is the best, biggest, most prolific YouTube, TikTok, all around awesome video creator. So those of you that are on the stream or in the chat, give it up and show some love for my good friend, Mr. Matthew Santoro.
Yay.
Hi, Matt.
What's going on?
Yay. Isn't this so fun having a pretend talk show?
It is. I actually personally liked your little intro song. I think you should just use that. Whatever you just said.
Yeah.
That was great.
This is on the internet now, me singing. Great. Yay.
Beautiful.
In perpetuity. Have you been doing a lot of these lives?
Yeah. More than normal, obviously, with COVID-19 going on right now. So,
right.
I'm doing things on other people's pages. I'm doing live streams with my family and it's friends and things like that. This is new territory for humans. So we're trying to get through it in a way that we haven't been able to before. I mean, the last major pandemic, I believe, was circa 1912, something like that. But we didn't have technology like this back then. So I don't know what they did. I guess they just locked themselves in the house and just kind of waited. But now we have the ability to do this, which is nice because it's funny. I think this is good for our mental health, and technology for a long time, I think, has been harming our mental health.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're sort of turning to it because this is all that we have. So it's nice.
Totally. And I love that it's a distraction for me personally, because I don't get social interaction. And actually the last big social gathering I had was my birthday, which is before everything, all the restrictions kind of came down, which you came to dressed as, guys, my birthday party was a sailor theme and Matt did not hold back. It was amazing. I wish I had a picture of you in your outfit. We did encourage costumes and Matt did not hold back. It was amazing.
That was really the last opportunity that I've had for a social gathering. And even then it was a little bit, that was like right on the edge of should we really all be getting together? We were still kind of questioning it, but then right after that was no.
Yeah, it was like the law. And I think we were all still pretty careful about we weren't, getting all up in each other's space, and pretty good about, I think, observing distance. I hope.
I remember even one of your friends, I went to shake her hand and she just looked at it. And I was like, oh, dude, this is the generation. This is the world we live in now. It's interesting.
Totally. It's been such a weird, transition. Just even what I've noticed walking down the street, even, it's people are afraid to make eye contact. It's we're not going to catch it by smiling at each other, guys. It's okay to smile and still be human. So I'm that's the one part of it that I think that's kind of a bummer is the way that people are getting nervous around each other.
It's a learning curve. We haven't experienced this before. So we don't know how this is going to affect people's mental health, going forward. We're going to look back and see how many people, not to be dark, but maybe committed suicide. Maybe I don't know if that's too heavy for this broadcast, but it's a relevant thing. We're going to look back and see how many people were affected, how many people, went into a deep depression, how many people, but also on the other side of it, how many, so that's, sort of the yin of things, but the yang of it is, how many people are going to discover spirituality? How many people are going to meditate more because of this? How many people have discovered what their true passion is and aren't going to go back to work and are like, oh, wow, I actually ended up being okay not having a job. I'm going to go into juggling or painting or making YouTube videos or podcasting. Or so, there's the yin and the yang of it. And that's the balance of life. And it's going to be really, really interesting to see what happens at the end of all of this, and especially where the world goes in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I love it. I'm on the side of, and I almost started to feel a little bit guilty about it because I'm actually loving this time. And I think it's because of my that's a privileged position to have, you know, and I recognize that. I'm loving it because I'm able to, I have the technology. I have a laptop. Not everybody has a laptop that they can go live from, you know what I mean? So it's really, really, I know that it's a privileged place to say that I'm enjoying the time, but I am, but for all the reasons that you listed. I'm like having fun making talk shows and recording podcasts and getting a chance to really read. Like I hadn't read a book. I mean, I read a lot of self-development books, and we're going to talk about your book, prolific book reading in just a minute. But yeah, there it is. It was so nice to read a book just for fun. So I'm grateful for the time. It does look like we have a question. Hi, Manur. What's your question? Shout it out in the chat, and we will answer it. So
I'm going to bring you guys with me, if you don't mind, just because I hear my cats making noise, and I know them well enough that they're up to something. Hi, what are you doing?
I was about to request an appearance from Ned and Sansa.
Ned, what are you chewing on, buddy? I don't like the sound of it. Sorry, this isn't professional, but what are you chewing?
I think this is what the internet wants.
That's what you're chewing on, my power cable. Okay, so we're gonna stop that now.
Oh my gosh, can we see a little bit more? This is Ned. Tell us about your story of becoming a cat dad. They have have their own pages.
I'll show you baby Ned. So come here, baby boy. Oh, this is my boy Ned, and he's a very sweet boy. He's domestic short hair.
Oh, he's the cutest. He's so cuddly.
Ugly.
Ned. And Sansa.
Sometimes I hold him like a baby. He doesn't really like it though. He goes, meow.
Oh, baby Ned. You adopted them together, right? Ned and Sansa as a brother-sister duo?
I did, yeah. They're not actually related.
Oh, they're not? Oh, I thought they were brothers and sisters.
No,
brother, sister.
Orange Tabby. She's hiding right now. She's pretty camera shy. But yeah, they treat each other like they are brother and sister, and they love each other a lot. Like they're always cleaning each other. I find them snuggling. Like they'll just be passed out holding each other. Like I've never seen this in my whole life. And it was such a blessing. And this is a recommendation I have to anyone out there. As somebody that's never had cats and hasn't had an animal in well over a decade and probably a half, please adopt, don't shop. Adopt.
Amen.
The reason for that is twofold. One, you're going to save a ton of money. And number two, there are so many good animals out there that like these two that need a home. And I am convinced that animals know that you adopted them. I am convinced that they have like a sixth sense where they know that they were abandoned and they were kind of alone, and that you took them in. They can sense that you saved them because these two are so loving, just like baby girl.
Oh, there's Santa. Okay, so you guys, Santa, she's rare because almost all orange tabbies are male.
Yeah, only 20% of orange tabbies are female, so she's pretty special. But when I got her, she was quite sick. She had like fungal infection on and in her ear. She had like chest problems, and she was quite sick. Hi, baby girl. But she's pooping right now. But yeah, Ned was fine. Ned was just like, he's been the most chill animal I've ever seen in my whole life. Sansa was pretty sick, so she wasn't very friendly at first. But after I took care of her and I took her to the vet, and about a month went by before she was fully healthy again, then she was able to start coming into her own personality, and she's much warmer now than she used to be because she very much takes after her older brother. I think he's older. I feel like he's older. They think they were both born around the same time, June of last year. But she does everything he does. And because he's so warm, she's become much more warm, because when she first got here, she's like kind of a tough street cat. Like she was a little bit she's a tabby. Yeah, standoffish. But now, like, I wake up every day and I wake up with her on my chest and her face on my face. Like she just passes.
I love your Instagram account I think they have their own Instagram account, right? Or
no, they do. And I have to tell you, I resisted that for so long. And
why?
Because it's such an LA thing to do, to make a Instagram account for your animal. Like how it's almost narcissistic in a way, because all these people are like, my cat has like 1 million followers. It's like, It's just so weird. But the real reason that I did it was because I found myself taking so much content of them, pictures, video, things like that, that I was filling up a Dropbox folder and they weren't going anywhere. They were just sitting there. And then on top of that, I was manually texting all of these things to my family and friends. And I was like, okay, you know what? Instead of just sharing like all of this, this is kind of the part of the purpose for making an Instagram account for some people. But this was the main reason for me, which is that now I can just put it out there and my family and friends can see what's going on with Ned and Sansa at any given time.
And not just family and friends, though. Like, I have to say, and I know I'm not alone in this, I follow pet accounts because it's like joy. It fills my feed with like, this sweet, loving, wholesome, all the things that animals are really good for. So narcissism aside, I really think that like putting animals and loving content out there is like a good thing. I love it. And I go and watch the page all the time.
Absolutely. And I don't give them, special photo shoots and, put costumes on them and try to go for likes and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't do the whole GIF palm thing. Don't get me wrong. GIF palm's awesome. But I don't do all of that. It's not about trying to get likes. The only thing I do is put the appropriate hashtags on each picture and video, and that's it. And then I just put it out there because really it's just to document. And that's actually a nice segue into a thought I just had. I've been lately vlogging again, trying to daily vlog again. And the purpose of it has been to document. I'm not looking for likes anymore. I'm not looking for views anymore. I'm documenting my life because I ended up going back and looking at all the old vlogs that I did when I used to daily vlog, and it brought back so many good memories. And I actually remembered exactly what it was like at those exact moments. I could re-feel those feelings. And so I've started documenting, kind of like Gary Vaynerchuk says. I'm sure you're familiar with Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
That's what he says. He says, just document. Don't worry about vlogging. Don't worry about just document what's actually going on. And the truth is, right now, there's nothing going on. And so I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about what my feelings are. I'm going to talk about what I'm doing. Because I'm going to look back on this time and say, oh my God, I remember when I was in the house for over a month or however much longer this goes for. Like, I've been in the house for over a month now, and I haven't been to the gym in over a month, which is the longest I've gone in literally 15 years. Literally 15. Oh.
Same. I'm in the gym every day. Normally, this is totally different for me.
Literally, the longest I didn't go to the gym, I think, was like a week in Trinidad, and that was the most recent. But before that, like the longest I would have ever gone is maybe a few days for being sick, and that was it.
Yeah.
This is by far, like, because there are no gyms, and I don't have any home gym equipment, and literally, like, I can look at my arm and I can feel like it's smushy. I'm not used to it. Like, and I can.
Oh, you're not used to that? That's pretty common.
I don't like it though, because part of my mental health regimen is physical health. That they're connected for me, and
Absolutely. It's connected for everybody.
Yeah, and so I think the first week was really hard. The second week was hard. The third week was hard. Now I've just said, you know what? I'm changing my perception on it from I'm dying to get back to the gym, which I still am. Like, I'm very much looking forward to it, but I'm no longer looking at it as a stressful thing. I'm looking at this as a true vacation, because everything is just what you make it. Everything is either good or bad based on how you look at it. That's what Shakespeare said. Nothing is either good nor bad, but thinking makes it so. And it's true. So I'm choosing to look at this instead of a stressful thing where I'm losing my gains, which I know that I am, and I'm getting smushy and I am getting fatter. I can feel myself gaining weight, instead of looking at that as like, I'm looking at it as, you know what? This is a rare opportunity because this is not who I am, and I'm never going to be like this on a normal basis going forward. So I'm going to fully enjoy this time, because I truly believe that the world is going to go back to normal sooner than we think. And everyone will go right back to their frenetic lifestyles and their stressful jobs. And I'm going to go right back to lifting weights every day and eating nothing but kale salads every day. So for now, for now. By the way, I'm not like a fitness model. I just try to take care of myself. But
we see you. We see you.
Well,
we see your fitness model.
Thanks. But right now, yeah, I'm having the sprinkles cupcakes. I'm eating the Wendy's burgers. Like, I'm doing all that, and it's junk. And honestly, the only thing that's actually stopping me, and I thought about this today, is I'm actually starting to feel ill. Like,
yeah, there's like a limit to how much you can indulge in sort of some of that comfort eating, which it does bring some comfort,
It brings comfort, and traditionally I used to self-soothe with food. Like, I've never been fat, but there was a time where I was heavier than I should be because I was depressed and I was eating food to sort of self-soothe, and that's a big problem in America. A lot of people do that. That's why we have such a population here. But I'm just enjoying this time, and I'm just looking at it. What? I'm going to try new restaurants I wouldn't normally try. And I might have a pizza. Like, last time I've had a pizza was probably like, I don't know, like 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to have that pizza. But I do have to be honest with you. I am starting to feel ill. Like, the lack.
It gets a lot.
Yeah. Like, the lack. Like, I'm still running every day. So I'm still exercising. But I can feel myself just not feeling good based on my diet. And I really
like the mental fog. I swear, like gluten and sugar, it really does like give you some mental fog.
It's just all of it. It's just my body doesn't like it. So today, when this is done, I'm going to order a kale salad, and really good kale salads here in Los Angeles. Like, there's like Sweet Greens, and there's a place called Chop Shop, which is really good. And that's where I get. Yeah, have you ever tried that Chop Shop?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we do. I have the Sweet Green app. We have the Chop Shop, but I've gotten to like really good. I've been spending a lot of time for speaking of mental health, the thing that's therapy for me, in addition to eating, I love food, don't get me wrong, but being in the kitchen is very therapeutic. So start of quarantine, it was all like breads and cookies and like all the really crappy stuff. And sort of like what you're talking about right now, I started to get like, okay, there's a limit to this. Yeah. And now I'm like, trying to do our own Sweet Green bar at home. So we've got the kale and we've got like the whole salad bar kind of thing. Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing, that's definitely not me because I do not cook. I never have. I'm like my dad in that way. I'm like my nono in that way, my grandfather.
But you're Italian. It's like a cardinal sin to not cook.
Yes and no. Yes and no. Because for my nono, my nona cooked for him his whole life. So he didn't, I mean, yes, cooking is an Italian thing, but in the traditionally, the woman cooks in the old, obviously, that's a very old traditional thing. But in the old world, like, the 50 to 70 to 80-year-old grandfathers that we have, that was the tradition. The woman cooked, the man brought home the money, that, the very old school thought process. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so my nona cooked for my nono his whole life, cleaned the house. That's what the woman did back then. Then my dad kind of got that from him. He'll cook. Like, obviously he's new age. He's not my grandfather. So, he'll cook, but for the most part, like, my stepmom still kind of prepares most of the meals. And it's not that it's the woman's role. It's just, that's what she likes.
That's their dynamic. Yeah.
That's their dynamic, and everybody's different, right? Some men do all the cooking and that's their dynamic. So it's not a judgment thing. It's just whoever likes to do what. Me, I've always really enjoyed doing dishes. I enjoy it. I find it therapeutic. Yeah.
Okay.
So with
someone's dream.
Generally, because I can't cook, it's like, look, I'm sorry, I can't cook. If you would like to cook, I promise I'll do all the dishes because I don't want to cook, but I like doing dishes. And if you like to cook, then we have a perfect match. So yeah, but the thing is, I am single now, so I can't. I'm ordering a lot of Postmates and Uber Eats, but I will tell you one thing. I did experiment with that damn whipped coffee nonsense, and it does not
crack.
It was garbage and it didn't work. Screw that.
Wait. It didn't work because it didn't whip, or it didn't work because it didn't get you like,
Listen. No, it's very strong. The instant crystals are very strong. But let me tell you something. This is why cooking is nonsense to me, because you take somebody like myself that really doesn't know anything, okay? And then you look up these tutorials online. I looked up multiple on YouTube. They all said the exact same thing. 2 parts hot water, 2 parts sugar, 2 parts, what am I missing? Instant coffee.
Instant coffee. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tablespoon, 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 tablespoon. Easy, done. Whisk, 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 whisk. Now here's
Well,
what.
no,
Here's
you
what.
got to use a power tool.
That's not what these said. These all listen. All the tutorials said the same thing. It's preferable to use a power whisker if you have it, but if you don't, no big deal. Just whisk it easy. Just whisk it for 3 minutes. Just whisk it for 3 minutes. No, not just whisk it for 3 minutes. I whisked that thing for over 10 minutes, and it was just a watery goop. And it wasn't until I started like tilting the bowl and like lifting it up and playing with the air. Like, oh, I was like, okay, I got to aerate it. 15 to 20 minutes went by, and this thing still didn't look anything. Keep in mind, my arm is tired. I haven't been in the gym in a month. Sitting there, I'm like, oh my God, I'm sweating. I'm literally sweating. I went on Instagram Live to tell people this, and I'm showing them, and people are laughing their heads off. But
just waiting.
That's the thing is, like, I don't understand why people think cooking is so easy. I guess it just comes naturally to some people. For me, it is the least skill that I have, and I can't even.
I love it.
Dole Whip, whatever the hell it's called, coffee.
Well, I think that's the big lie that the internet is. I think they're trying to keep people busy, right? They know people are at home, they don't have anything to do, and so they're like, "Here's what'll keep you busy for 2 hours: just whip this coffee." Because it is even with a electric mixer, which is, by the way, the only way to do it. Or if you have one of those Nespresso foamers, that'll work too. But you gotta use a power tool, and even then, it takes like 5 minutes with the power tool. It's not for beginners.
That's what bothers me, because all these tutorials, and for some reason, it's all the best ones are done by Asian women. I don't know why, but it's all like.
I made a pretty good one.
Yeah, I don't know why, but all the top results were like all these Asian women, and they were really good at it. They look like Asian American. I don't know why, but they seem to be really good at it. So all these hosts were like, hey, here's what you do. So there's this girl that walks in, she's like, hey, here's what you do. So 6 tablespoons total, 3 parts, of each. And then all you do is whisk it. And she's like this. She's like, 3 minutes, you whisk it. And then they like fast forward, and she's got this like foamy, delicious treat. And she's like, look, done. No sweat. It's not realistic. That's not what it looks like at all. For those that try it, you're going to have to take your shirt off, crank the AC, and it just, anyway.
There's probably a lot of Asian American or just Asian folks doing that, because it's called Dalgona coffee, and it's a Korean coffee. So that's where it got its origin.
Right.
Yeah, it's whipped coffee or Dalgona coffee, and it's I love it because it's like, even just that, even if you were just to make instant coffee, it's like supercharged. So if I want to, like, I don't know, go on a run, which is rare, but if I did, that stuff is like rocket fuel to the jetpack. I love it.
A little too strong for me. The 2 tablespoons of instant coffee, it was just, first of all, it was too acidic for my mouth. I was like, oh
yeah.
I guess that's why you like mix it in with the almond milk or whatever you. Anyway,
exactly.
For me, yeah. I'm not. I'll maybe try it again, but I'd have to get. Somebody told me that there's for like $10 on Amazon, you can get like a single-handed electric whipper.
Yeah. Yeah, IKEA sells them if they still have them, because the trend is like taking over the internet. But yeah, they're super easy. Matt, can we talk about your books?
Oh yeah, of course.
So, okay, you guys, for those of you who don't know Matt, and maybe don't know his affinity for books, can you talk to us? You read what? Is it 50 books a year? Is that right? How many books a year do you read?
Well, last year I read 53 books, I think, which was about on average a book a week. But you have to understand that is not a normal goal to try to achieve. For context, last year I basically checked out of this world, and I went full spiritual, and I just read almost exclusively books on spirituality, and I barely made any content. I put out content regularly, but I bulk shot it ahead of time and just coasted for like 4 months at a time. And I just read and checked out of this world and barely did anything else. And that was probably the happiest year of my life. I'm trying to make this the happiest year of my life. But the beginning of it was really challenging, because I felt like I was rebirthed into this world, as strange as that sounds, because I believe in the Buddha taught the middle path. So you don't want to go full spiritual and check out of this world, but you don't want to be all materialistic and focus on money and views and things. So I think that there's a middle path. And that's what I've been struggling to sort of get back to is, and I think I've actually accomplished it, and I'm feeling really good lately about it, which is, and I know this is off topic. I'll get back to the books in a second. But
no, it's not at all. I want to talk about spirituality. It's such a huge part of your life, and I think you are really dialed into that scene. And I would love to hear, you're talking about finding your balance. Like, is it something that other people can do? And what's your advice for people who are like trying to get there themselves?
Yeah, I mean, what I found is, like, I uploaded my final list video on Monday, April 20th. And I've been doing that for 10 years. And that was a major milestone for me because I've literally removed my income and my safety net. And now I have nothing going on and I have to make new content, or I'll just dwindle through my savings and go broke. So I have, in order to fly, you need to push yourself out of the nest and not have a safety net there. And so that's what I've been trying to do. And, I'm taking this first week to sort of reset and enjoy this time of, oh, wow, I don't have anything to put out. Okay, let's absorb that. Let's stay present and see how that feels. But one of the things that
like listening to the fears, like it probably brings up all these fears, right? And there's so much information in those fears. Like, what are you really afraid of?
You know what? It's somewhat fear-based, but I'm focusing on my creativity and believing that I live in abundance. And even if I let go of those things, that God, love, the universe, source energy, whatever term you want to use, will provide money and bring it into my experience and bring opportunity into my experience. And it's been really good. I mean, I've been more creative in the last week than I have in probably the last 6 years. I'm putting out 3 TikToks a day. I'm trying new things, like I'm daily vlogging again and just documenting, which has been a lot of fun. I'm putting out, I'm trying new things on Instagram. Like I'm putting out these moving images. Like they're not video, but they're like animated still images, if that makes sense. And I'm having a lot of fun. And it's, the vlogs and the Instagram pictures and all of that, none of it anymore is about the views and how many likes I get and things like that. I literally I have zero desire for that right now. Zero.
Right.
And this is the point. This to me, I believe I found the middle ground, which is I'm passionate about creating again. And I really don't care I care purely about the creation of things and zero about what people think. I used to care so much about, if an image got less than 5,000, if a picture got less than 5,000 likes on Instagram, I would actually archive that image because I was so insecure that I was thinking, oh my God, how embarrassing. If people see this, I have almost 300,000 followers and less than 5,000 likes. Like, how embarrassing. What an arbitrary, crazy thought. Like, first off, nobody's paying attention to that. Like, people aren't going to my page and doing the analytics and, oh, look at how embarrassing. Nobody cares. Second of all, if they do care, they got way too much time on their hands. So now I'm creating just for the sake of creating, and it's fantastic.
And it's like invigorating, right? Like it's so fun to create without, like, for example, this show, and I even like had to apologize to you before we came on air because I'm like, Matt, like I don't have a big following. There's not going to be a lot of viewers, but it's just exactly what you're saying. Just creating. I love talking to people. I love going live. I get like, it's fun. It fills me with joy, and it's actually such a relief. I can relate to that when you don't have to worry about the metrics or why it's performing or what the outcome is, because it's like you don't need for a picture to perform well. It's not like you're waiting on a brand to pay you. Like, your business is set up. That's not your model. You just get to be you. I think that's so really inspiring, and I'm excited to see what you're always, you know, up to something new. I've been loving, and I have to, you briefly talked about it, but your TikToks, man, like you, and I know you started speaking, it's not about metrics, but I think it does speak to your creativity that you started a TikTok, and I think within a week you had like 100,000 followers or something crazy really quickly.
Yeah, I mean, so what I would say about that is I do believe that, you know, I believe in my skill for video editing and having fun and creating on there and what I do. But also you need to understand that TikTok is a very unique animal online right now.
Yeah.
You yourself could post one video and overnight get 50,000 followers. It's wild. TikTok is like nothing. TikTok is like the early days of Instagram. People on there, anyone can go on there right now and create a following very quickly. And it's surprising and it's awesome. And it's all the good things that, you know, social media networks used to be. It's all on TikTok right now. And yes, that absolutely will go away. You know, 6 months to a year, maybe sooner. You know, the algorithm will change and all the discoverability that there is right now will be gone. And it'll be like Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Instagram right now is probably the worst because they entirely got rid of organic growth. So for those that don't know, if you notice, whenever you post a picture now, you get like a quarter or even half of what you used to get. And the reason for that is because the way that the algorithm used to work is, you know, Ashley posts a picture, certain hashtags. So we're going to show her picture to say 5% of her followers, and then we're going to recommend it to like 1% of people or something like that, or even 5%. And when Instagram first started, it was like 50%. It was massive, like TikTok is right now. Yeah. Now they've gotten rid of all of that. Like literally you're lucky to get your picture out to maybe 1% of your audience, maybe even 5%. And that's it. And you know, it's like Facebook. It's become Facebook, which owns Instagram. It's all pay to play. It's all pay to play. If you want it's Facebook. If I want it, you know, if I upload a video to Facebook and I really want it seen by people, I have to pay Facebook. By the way, yeah, you didn't know that? Yeah.
No, because I've been wondering why, like, even just the example of the post for this, I'm like, normally people aren't like engaging in it at all. And it's not that I'm not in it for the likes, but I'm like, hey, come on, join us. If you don't have anything to do, it would be so fun. And Instagram too. I mean, like literally, not that I have a huge following, but it's you know, it's maybe 200 people or something.
It's all pay to play. So on Instagram, they're actually prompting you now. They prompt me sometimes. They'll be like, hey, you want to reach a greater audience? There's a little boost. Yeah. I think everybody sees it. There's a little boost post blue button under each of your posts.
But then doesn't it show as sponsored? When you post it, doesn't it show sponsored at the top?
No, I don't think so. But irregardless of that,
that's gross.
Whenever you post something on Instagram or Facebook, if you want it to be seen by a larger audience, more than say 1%, you have to pay. And the larger the audience, the more you have to pay. By the way, you have to pay for people that have chosen to follow you to see your content. This is the problem I have with algorithms. I understand that algorithms, why they work. The concept makes sense. If people interact with your stuff, show them more of their stuff. If they don't, then don't. I'm getting a lot of feedback. On Let me turn the volume down a bit. Okay, anyway, let me keep going. So the concept is you get more of the content that you interact with. Here's the thing. It's like same thing with YouTube. My videos go out to maybe 1% of my entire subscriber base. That doesn't make sense somewhat, but it also doesn't make sense in terms of, hey, if somebody subscribes, if somebody chooses to follow me on Instagram, if somebody chooses to follow my page on Facebook, if somebody subscribes on YouTube, they shouldn't have to turn on a bell. They shouldn't have to turn on notifications. I think that's the stupidest thing. Reason being is because they've chosen to follow me meaning that they want
They
to
want
see
your
more content. If they didn't want to see more content, they wouldn't follow, they wouldn't subscribe. So why is an algorithm making a decision for a human being? It doesn't make any sense. What they should do is by default show you all of that person's content. And if you want to see less, then you should be able to go under, you know, an option on their channel and say, hey, you know, Matt posts 4 times a day. I only want to see half of those, and literally click what percentage of this person's content do you want to see? Cool. 50% done. Not this algorithmic nonsense of, we know what's best for you. No, I do not. I will never subscribe to that. I think it's stupid. And as a creator, it makes me want to create less because I know that my content isn't being seen by people. And I know that somewhat contradicts what I said before, which is just to create for the sake of creating. But here's the thing I always tell people that always say that to me. They're, you know, Matt, just make videos for the sake of making videos. Yes, that should be the underlying motivation. But here's the thing. A painter doesn't paint just to put that masterpiece painting in the attic. They want people to see their work. So in the same way, I don't make a video to leave it unlisted so that I can send it to 2 friends. No, I make things for people to enjoy. So when I know people aren't enjoying it and it's not getting out to people, that demotivates me from making more of that content. And so I think, honestly, I think the whole system's broken. And I think that it should be up to the user to decide, hey,
here's how much stuff I want to see.
Also it dilutes the value of subscribing, because subscribing doesn't mean anything. They should just take away subscribing on YouTube, take away the subscribe button altogether, and just add like a follow button or something, because subscribing used to mean something. When you subscribe to someone on YouTube, it meant something because you would see all of their videos. Made sense. Now you don't. So why even have the subscribe option? It doesn't work. It doesn't do what it's intended to do.
You're like a serious top creator. I mean, you have 6 million plus followers or subscribers and followers on Facebook, and you're growing on TikTok. I mean, you are a big figure in the space. Can you like voice these opinions or suggestions to the people that make the decisions?
Oh, that doesn't matter. I mean, I have 6.4 million subscribers, but I'm not valued by YouTube anymore. I'm really not. And that's not my opinion. That's actual fact. Like, I'm not going to get into it, but multiple things have happened where I've been uninvited from the Creator Summit. I'm just not important anymore. Anyway, I don't want to be negative. Lots of stuff has happened. I've been passed down to like lower and lower employees on the scale. I no longer have access to like the top creator email. I have to use like the generic email. Like, oh my goodness. It's pretty wild. And you know, there was a part of me that was really upset by that, because I'm like, wow, like I really am. All of these things are showing me I'm really not valued by YouTube anymore. But in the same way that I said before, everything is just what you label it. So whether you label it good or bad, that's what it is. So I'm choosing to look at this as, okay, I have lost the favor of the platform that I love so much. They don't care about me whatsoever anymore. I can choose to look at that and cry about it, or I can say, okay, I'm going to use this as motivation to gain a greater following and gain more viewership, so that this platform that I helped build from the beginning, and also that I love so much and that I value so much, will value me back in a way that, you know, will get my videos out to more people, and that I'll be invited to the Creator Summit and things like that. So, you know, everything is just what you make it. And that's an important point that I want people watching to know right now, is everything in life is what you make it. Everything in life is what you label it. And that's it.
So, and we're almost about out of time here, but I think there's 2 questions that I want to ask you to wrap this up. And I'll save the toughest one for last. Tough. But what do you say to creators who are just getting started on, let's focus on YouTube. What do you say to those creators that want to get started, and what's your advice to those folks?
Just start.
Yeah.
That's it.
And,
That's literally,
don't worry about the metrics.
The majority of the battle. The majority of the battle is just beginning. Don't wait for circumstances to be perfect. Don't overthink it. Don't worry about, do I have the perfect equipment? Don't worry about this and that. Literally sit down and just start, because motivation is all about oh my God, what's the word I'm looking for? Sometimes I blank when I'm
momentum.
Momentum. Thank you. I said motivation. There was an M word there, and I was like, oh, now I lost the other. Yes, momentum. It's all about momentum.
Yeah.
It's all about the first step, and the journey of growing your following and things of that nature. It's a staircase, but you don't have to see the whole staircase. All that you have to see is the first step. So take that first step, and then the next step will appear, and take that step. Don't worry about how tall the staircase is and how is it going to unfold and how am I going to get there. That's not for you to decide. That's not up to you. And even if you have a plan, nothing's going to go to plan. That's not how life
doesn't
works.
go to plan. Yeah.
So don't worry about having a plan. Just start creating. Don't worry about, is this video going to be embarrassing? Yes, it will. Your first content will be embarrassing, but here's the thing. When you make that content, 10 years down the road, when you look back on it, you're going to love it. You're going to say, wow, look how far I've come, and look how cringy this is. I'm proud of that. Like, it's funny. So in the moment,
and it takes you right back to that feeling, like you were saying with your, it's like a journal almost. You can transport yourself
in the
right
moment,
there.
you might be self-conscious about it, but I promise you, down the road, when you've got millions of followers, you're going to look back on it and say, oh, I remember that. That was fun. I didn't know anything about color correction, and I didn't even know what depth of field and cameras and what was all of this. I didn't know any of it, and it'll be fun.
Oh, color correction! Wow, yeah, that's advanced. I think it's really important to momentum is important, and you can create it yourself. Like, you can create your own momentum. You don't need anybody else to say, like, give you permission or to give you a job or to give you an opportunity. Like, you can create your own momentum and then build off of your own momentum, which has been wild for me to learn.
You're the only one that can. There's nobody that can create that momentum for you. People can encourage you, but that's not momentum. That's to get you to start the momentum. Momentum happens when you start whatever the goal is that you have. And then once you do that first step, you'll be invigorated. And everything that you've been afraid of up until that point will just disappear. It's like that speech. I highly encourage everyone to look up, Google or go on YouTube and search Will Smith skydiving speech. And he talks about that viral. A lot of people saw it. He said he was terrified of jumping out of that plane, and leading up to the jump, he couldn't sleep and he was sweating and he was nervous right up until the point where he was about to step off. And the moment that he actually stepped off, it was bliss. He said it was the most amazing experience of his whole life. So what was all that worrying for? Really, what is the purpose of all that worrying? It doesn't do anything other than you can't enjoy your breakfast and you can't get any sleep the night before. So worrying, there's no point to worrying. Worrying is an old, archaic part of our brain that, we needed back in the day to keep us safe from the saber-toothed tigers that are outside of the cave, because, we're cavemen, women in the cave, and we don't know what dangers are out there. That's how we survive. Now our biggest issue is, did we get the right type of cream in our Starbucks coffee? You know what I'm saying?
It's important, Matt. It's important. Some of us are lactose intolerant.
And don't get me wrong. I know there's, that's not the greatest example right now, because right now there are people that are actually struggling a lot with income and losing their jobs. And so now is a different time. But generally, when the economy is normal, the vast majority of people is like, hey, did I get almond milk or did I get regular milk? Like, that's how it is.
The most important. Okay, well, let's wrap up today. I mean, I could talk to you forever, and I'm so grateful for you to come on, because I knew you'd be amazing conversation. You're so easy to talk to, like always at any event. But so let's just wrap it up with, I know you have a lot. You just made some really big changes. You just posted your last list video. What are you most excited about coming forward? Like, what project are you really excited about, or what thing coming up are you most excited about?
Yeah, right now I'm most excited about TikTok. I'm growing on there quite a bit, and I'm really enjoying putting out 4 videos a day on there. I'm excited about my 10-year anniversary video, which will be on my YouTube channel May 13th. It's a stroll down memory lane. There's a lot of, it'll hit you in the feels. It'll, you know, it recaps the last 10 years, and I'm excited about that. And I'm just in general excited about creating again. And I feel like my creative spark has been re-sparked for the first time in a very, very, very long time. And I'm trying to ride that wave, and I'm going with it. And it's a lot of fun. So I think the next year of my life is going to prove to be one of the most creative and exciting. And I also can't wait to travel again when all this COVID-19 nonsense is over.
Amen. Let's go back to Abu Dhabi, ride some camels in the desert. Matt, thank you so much. You guys, if you're not already following Matt on particularly TikTok, it's art. It's straight up art on your TikTok.
Which one's your favorite? Which one did you like?
Okay, well, it's so stupid, but there's one. I'm obviously an animal lover, so you just dropped Ned into a shot, but it was like he was falling through the frame. That was really cool. You've been doing a lot of these videos where like it's like the Stranger Things, where you go into the mirror and it's like this crazy optical illusion of like we're looking in your mirror, but then you're in another dimension. I have no idea how you do it. It blows my mind. It's incredible. How do you do that?
It's just, you know, I've been video editing for a long time, and I know how transitions work. So I just, you know, those ones, some of them I have to do on my MacBook and then export it back to my phone and upload it. But for the most part, it's just done on TikTok. Yeah,
it's pretty crazy. I mean, you're like totally killing the platform and the features and everything you can do on there. It's so good. And I'm looking forward to seeing more of your vlogs. I love all your content. I love you. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And you know, you can always use body weight if you're worried about the gym.
Yeah, I'm just gonna chill and be a pig until I can get back to the gym.
Well, if you want some fresh sourdough bread, I have mastered baking. We can COVID safe deliver you fresh loaves of bread so that we don't
love fresh bread. You ever have fresh bread and grapes at the same time?
No, why? Is that like a whole new thing?
The thing my dad's done his whole life is he will eat a piece of bread and then a grape, and then for some reason the texture and the flavors mix really well.
To the grocery store I go. I'm about it. Any chance to eat bread.
Thanks for having me.
Matt, thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and everybody stay safe out there. We love you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.